Recording. And there we are. So welcome again from myself, Peter Whaley. The format of the 14-minute webinars is very simple. We look at a few key problems and we immediately demonstrate them. If you see value in the software, the good news is with Plus Software Solutions, you can trial them and we'll show you afterwards. So the webinar itself is a listen-only webinar, but you can send questions on the fly and Dean will moderate us. And you'll also notice that the demo currency is in dollars. When you download and connect Cash Manager, that will change to the native currency on your system. And of course, as I mentioned, it is recorded. So if you have no idea about Cash Manager, a one-line intro, it's integrated software that you can download, which when you connect to the accounting software will improve your debtors collection. It will help you with your budgets that are loaded on the accounting software and will undoubtedly improve cash flow. It is so exciting, it's scary. Okay, without further ado, let's jump into 2 or 3 of the problems solved. One of the challenges with debtors is often there is no automation with regards to the debtors collection. Cash Manager solves this because it gives you an opportunity to generate custom emails either to individuals or to the different groups, and you can offer different messaging depending on the outstanding debt. So we'll show you how to do that right now. Before we do that, I'll just quickly pop across to the Plus Software Solutions website. And what your partner will do is you'll head across to downloads and you will connect, you will download Cash Manager and then connect the actual database. And once you do that, your debtors will automatically be loaded into Cash Manager, which you can see here. Now, there's an awful lot of information, so just stay with me while we actually focus on the key problem that we're going to solve. So once you connect the accounting database, immediately you'll come up with some speedometers, and some of these you have to set up in your administration. But once it's done, you can see things like total debtors and average debtors day. Cash Manager will also produce and pull your top 20 most outstanding invoices, and you can sort on any of that kind of information. And it'll show you via one of our unique algorithms a top 20 late debtors list. So that's very exciting. The webinar won't allow us to show you the screen which shows you all your customer invoices that you can drag and drop into different groups. So that's easy. We won't have time to show you the all customer invoices by age, which you can immediately drag and drop there as well. And of course, it'll bring across the customer information. But what we do want to show you is how quickly and easily you can send an email reminder. So let's say you want to send a reminder to all customers that have not paid over 30 days, for example, or 60 days. You click on this Send Email Reminder, and what Cash Manager will show you is an opportunity here to connect to either a 7 to 13 day customers, and we will choose the 30 to 59 days. Once we've done that, we can choose to exclude customers from this reminder run, or there's an option to exclude forever. And we can then send the customer reminder email by clicking on that. So that's as easy as that. And one thing you're probably thinking now is, what is that message you're going to send to those particular customers? And just a quick reminder, the email it sends is based on the number of days overdue, irrelevant of the customer's terms. So Cash Manager factors into account each customer's terms and will send the appropriate message. Let's look at that message. Under administration, email settings, here you've got a batch of email templates. So you set that message. It'll be a gentle message, I'm sure 7 to 13 days, but maybe it'll be an aggressive message at 60 to plus days. And the message the customer will get will be, again, under your control. But this example here is your account is overdue and placed on hold. And Cash Manager is smart enough to send the invoice number, the invoice date, invoice description, days overdue, and amount outstanding. So pretty special and very, very easy. Once Cash Manager sends that, you'll be able to see that it adds to every single record an automatic action. So it'll say email sent, but you can also manually add notes to a customer's record, like called and message sent, etc. So that is very easy. You can certainly export data, and you have the ability to update the data from the accounting software. So that is very, very cool. We also allow similar functionality in the creditor invoice manager as well, but we won't go into that in this particular webinar. Let's talk about the budgets, the key problems solved there on the budget side. Well, often when the management team sets up budgets, there's often no day-to-day connection between the financial budgets and what happens in the business. But Cash Manager once again solves that problem, because with Cash Manager, you can instantly see and compare budgets and actuals as it happens. And you can easily create what-if budgets as well. Let's see how we solve that within the software too. So here's the budgets button. And when you download and connect Cash Manager to the accounting Sage Eva or Sybiz Vision, what Cash Manager does is it pulls the existing budget and slam dunks it over here under Save Budget Revisions. So once it does that, it'll display budget comparisons here. We don't have one now, but I'll show you. And it'll show this database's evolution. It'll show you the budgets in a grouped account view or an individual view. So a pretty neat trick now is I can toggle, which it's actually on at the moment, I can toggle the actuals and variances. So I've just taken it off just to show you. I'll click on that and you'll see, let's just take, for example, if we're in the month of, say, August, which obviously we're not, there's the budget number where my mouse is. There's the actual that's being processed within the Sage Eva right now, and there's my variance. And of course, I can sort on the different variant account groups as well. So that is a very nifty operational piece of functionality that our customers love. But let's actually take that master budget and let's add another budget. So I do that by right-clicking. I can copy the budget revision as is, or if I'm creating a budget in the middle of the year, I can actually copy and update from the actuals. But let's just copy the budget revision, and it's going to allow me to then save it, and I'll just leave it with the title of Budget Revision 1, and I am now saving that budget. What will happen now is Cash Manager will save that budget under the Saved Budget Revisions tab right over here, and now we have the what if functionality we can start to play with. So we can create as many budgets as we want and then start to compare those budgets within this particular screen. On top of that, once the budget is here, we can use those budgets within the cash flow forecasting. So there's my budget revision 1. Let's now actually edit that budget. And once we do that, we can start to actually play with this. So let's just, for the purpose of this webinar, just say we want to increase our revenue in this what if budget by 40%. Wouldn't that be lovely? I'm sure the sales team would love that. And let's say we'll decrease cost of sales by 60%. It's just for the purpose of this demonstration. Once we've done that, we save that, and that budget revision is now applied to this particular graph. And you can do, as I mentioned, as many budget revisions as you want to. So I don't have the time to show you that you can do budget comparisons, and of course you can export the data here as well, so you can still play with your beloved Excel if you're an Excel fundi there as well. So that is a wonderful functionality, and let's look at the other area that we solve when it comes to Cash Manager. So cash flow forecasting, if you're in the financial team, is often very time consuming, and Cash Manager helps with this as well. You can create many different cash flow forecasts off that business budget, or the master budget as I call it, or you can create a cash flow forecast off the what if budget too. So simply smash in. Let's have a look how we do that as well. I'll now move across to the cash flow forecasting tab here. Clicking on that tab, there's no cash flow forecast here at the moment, and we'll show you what we can do. So the combination of being able to amend budgets and offer multiple budgets, and then being able to run these multiple cash flow forecasts at a click of a button is what makes Cash Manager so powerful. Now, you'll notice up here there's two types of forecast. There's the 12-month and the 30-day. We'll talk about the 12-month, or if you've got budgets that extend past 12 months in your financial system, Cash Manager will cater for that as well. But I'll quickly point the functionality out on the 30-day cash flow forecast. This is very useful for companies that want a daily bank balance. And what Cash Manager will do once you set this up in the cash flow maintenance area is it'll set up a daily or next day bank balance. And what it'll do is it'll use the debtors and creditors information from the business system. For example, the overdue debtors invoices, the debtors invoices, creditors invoices, even wages, GST and VAT, or PAYG, PAYE, depending on the country you're in. And you can include all of those in the calculation and then show them on the graph. And then at the end of each day will be the next day's cash balance. And there are the days. So beyond the scope of this webinar, but that just shows you the power of Cash Manager. Let's go ahead and quickly, at the touch of a button, raise a cash flow forecast. We do that by adding a cash flow. The Cash Manager software says, would you like to create the cash flow forecast on the business system budget? Well, let's do that immediately. And yes, it'll create the cash flow forecast. I won't even mess around. I'll just simply save it without changing the name. So again, it'll now produce a saved cash flow forecast right over here. And I can then see immediately, here it is on my graphics. And here is my cash flow monthly forecast with a month-end balance at the bottom. Of interest here is this delays day. What this is this comes from the account groups under administration. You would determine as the financial team what the day's delay is in these account group. So for example, in expenses, in other income, what is that particular day's delay? And a Cash Manager will then determine that and bring that into that forecast. So there's the original cash flow. Let's add another cash flow, and let's use one of those what if budgets, and easy as pie, click on that, and I suddenly have another cash flow forecast. And once again, I can start to play with those cash flow forecasts quickly and easily without reverting back to Excel. Yes, I can export the information to Excel, but we find that our customers that use Cash Manager tend to stay within Cash Manager. And again, I can start to really get specific, or I can show all of the account groups. So that there is a very brief overview of the power of Cash Manager. In summary, everybody, if you want to get cash in a little quicker, then Cash Manager will help you with the automation of reminders, and it'll action a recording note to each customer. You can use your budgets within your accounting software finally and see the impact on the actual. You can create as many what-if budgets as you want, and you can create as many cash flow forecasts off the master or the business budget or the what-if. Now, something our customers often ask us, is there a separate login? Yes, there is a separate login to Cash Manager, even though it's integrated, and there is a separate password, obviously, and then you have the ability to have different permission functionality. I've only given you a brief overview in this 14-minute webinar, but there is a significant other functionality there as well. Now, to take action, you can ask your partner to download the Cash Manager from the Plus Soft Solution website and connect the accounting database, or we can do this for you if you have no partner. Just email us. And included in that will be your 14-day free trial with help from us as well. We don't let you run around the wilderness on your own. And then if you're happy, then pay us a modest monthly fee. There is no upfront software cost after that, and you can cancel anytime. We back our software as well. So I am happy to say I'm at about 12.5 minutes. I am a hero for making it within our 14-minute webinar streak. I'm going to ask Dean to see, Dean, if there are any questions that came through, and if so, can you're a guru on Cash Manager as well. Can you go ahead and ask and answer them? And good luck to you, Dean.
Thanks, Pete. Yep, I've had 2 questions come through so far. The first question that came through was how much is Cash Manager. So Cash Manager for the US and Australian amounts is $150 per month. And for the South African currency in the Rand, it is 2,050 Rand per month. That is for unlimited users, and you can cancel at any time.
Good stuff.
And so Stefan also asked that question, and yep, so there you go. And then the second question that has come in was if debtors have made a payment inside the system, either Evolution or Vision, will Cash Manager get that information flowing through without having to export or import data out of the business system or into Cash Manager? So the answer to that is no, there's no importing or exporting required. Cash Manager is integrated into the system, so it is automatically getting that information.
Marvelous. Dean, I do see a couple more questions, but in line with our firmness at a 14-minute webinar, we'll just reply to those customers individually. So without further ado, a big thank you to the customers across South Africa. I see there's one from London and of course Australia and a few from New Zealand. And look out for our next webinar. This one is automating employee time capture, and we look forward to seeing you at the next webinar. Have a wonderful day if you're watching in the morning or in the evening. Take care, everybody.